Hey, what's up, y'all? I am Steph, Scumbassador, here with you on this lovely St. Patrick's Day. And I have the pleasure of hosting today for the fabulous Freddie Dean we have out here from St. Catharines, Ontario at the Carousel Tattoo and Barbershop. So let's go on. Here you go, Freddie. Take it away.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my first Reuzel Live. I am very excited to show you guys this beautiful head of hair that I'm going to be working on today. This is my lovely model, Tom. We are going to be doing a tapered pompadour on Tom today. This is one of my favorite haircuts in the barbering industry, period. It's one of the cuts that made me fall in love with the trade. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add some of our lovely blue hair tonic to my water, because what this is going to do is any residual product that's in the hair, it's going to help break down the hair or break down the product so that it's easier to work through the hair. Tom actually came in with a freshly washed head of hair today. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So I'm not going to use very much in my water today. I'm going to use it more so as a cutting lotion. So it's going to make it a lot easier to do my sections. So we're going to wet down all of the hair. And whether jumping on this Reuzel Live is a refresher for you or something brand new, I just want to let you know about how we work through our zones of the head when we're going through our haircut. So we always want to keep in mind the shape of the head and the areas that are going to cause us to have to maybe alter certain aspects of the haircut. Luckily, Tom has a beautifully shaped head here. So we work in 4 zones. We have our nape and contours. So our nape is in the back here, contours are around that hairline area. And then our zone 2 is the temples and occipital bone region. So these are both the exterior. This is usually where your fades or your combed back sides are, where your tapers come out. And then we have a transition area that's going to connect our top to our zones 2 and 1. And then we also have our ever popular mohawk section just straight down the middle. So now that I know where all my zones are, the first thing I'm going to do is find my primary parting. This is a symmetrical haircut, so it's going to be the same on both sides. And there's 2 different ways that I can find my my primary parting line. I can take 2 combs and balance one on the highest point of the head, also known as the apex, and one at the widest point of the head. And where that little spot is there, that's where my primary parting is going to come down. There's also another way that you can do this. You can use the front of the hairline and just draw your line right back to create your primary parting. Now, this primary parting is going to come straight down the round of the head. So it looks like you're rounding your shape, but you're actually following a straight line all the way down the curvature of the head. I'm going to do this on both sides. And checking my ear, make sure it's going beautiful. Follow that line down the back as well. And you'll see that once we have everything, oh, your hair is so clean, it's not even wanting to stay up. Some people like to use clips. I don't, but as you see, the primary parting will come down to like a little bit of a V in the back. I have a little bit of a cowlick crown back here, so I'm going to make minor adjustments to this. And then with this haircut, I'm going to be using both scissor techniques and clipper over comb techniques. Clipper over comb, we want a nice, tight, tapered side, but we want a nice, long, big, juicy pompadour. So I'm going to work on my scissor technique on the top. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start on my dominant side. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start on my right side. And I'm going to set in my baseline. So your baseline is going to be your sweet spot in that widest point of the head there. And you're going to bring everything out parallel to the part to whatever length you desire it to be. This area here, you should be able to balance a marble on it. And I'm going to start there to set in my baseline. And as I bring this line forward, I'm going to be very mindful that I'm bringing everything out square to that line that I just made. I'm not going to curve it into the head because then I'm going to be losing my square shape, and I want to keep everything nice and square. If we desire it to be a little rounder, we can always adjust that further on in the haircut. So I'm going to continue this baseline, following my primary parting, always parallel to the primary parting. So it may feel like you're having to kind of adjust yourself a little bit, and that's fine. And once I get down to the center back, once I'm down to the center back here, I'm going to comb all this down. And because I have a very useful comb, I'm actually going to grab a piece of that baseline from where I started and measure how many teeth long it is in my comb so that I can actually come over to my non-dominant side and start there. Pick up a little piece. And I'm going to cut just a teeny tiny bit, a little bit longer than I think it needs to be. And then I'm going to pull everything out here again. I can see this tiny little spot where I took that piece for a guide. And I'm going to repeat my baseline on this side. Just lifting all of the hair up. Now, starting with the baseline makes it so much easier to preserve length on the top, especially when you're going to have shorter sides. A lot of times in barbering, we'll work from the bottom up, and then sometimes we're left with, we don't have the proper amount of hair left to connect. So if we stick to a baseline, we will have that space to work with to connect. And then I'm just going to turn to the mirror, double check the side, adjust his head a little bit there. Yeah, and that looks great. So I'm going to move on to my next step, which is connecting the perimeter to this baseline. So I'm going to do clipper over comb for this part. And essentially what I'm doing is creating graduation with my comb. So I'm going to pick up the hair, and I can see where that baseline is at the top. So I'm going to start by connecting to that baseline all the way around. There's my baseline. There's my baseline. And I know I want this nice and tight and tapered, so I'm actually going to use that length that I just cut, and I'm going to start angling my comb a little bit. I have the back of my comb pressed right against Tom's head here, and I know that this part of my comb is about equal to a 1.5 guard. So I can pull everything out. I see everything that I just cut right there. It's nice and angled. We're going to get that nice taper on there. Look at that. That's already starting to take a nice taper shape. I'm going to continue all the way down. And same thing in zone 1. Getting a little bit tighter now. I'm spoiled with Tom because he has a beautiful natural gradation of like dark gray to light. So he just tapers and fades naturally. And then I'm going to repeat the exact same thing on this side. Lifting everything up to that baseline, peeking out there. And then tightening everything up with that little tilt of the comb. And back into the zone one. Tip your head down a little for me, Tom. Thank you. Gonna tighten all this up at the back. I'm not gonna perfect this neckline at the moment because that's gonna be one of our finishing steps, is making the adjustments that are needed to perfect this hairline, remove any bulk. Okay, so we've already started getting a nice taper on both sides there. You can see Tom's got nice straight hair, so you get to see that nice shape there. Okay, I'm just going to re-wet his hair because it's starting to dry out a little bit. But the next thing I'm going to do is connect that transition area, which was in zone 3. And we're going to do that by dividing the top into the crown, the front corners, and the front triangle. And the way that we do this, we're going to go from the peak of where our primary parting is up to the apex, which is the highest point of the head. In your towel, Tom. Okay. And same on the other side. Minor adjustments here, and then this is where I'm going to divide from that peak down to basically where that baseline started. So I have 1, 2, and I'm going to come straight down the back here. And over the side again. Okay. And Tom, just for the folks at home, I'm going to get you to tip your head down and forward so everybody can see that nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 area. This front part here is going to be the most important part of your haircut, especially in a pompadour, because this is where all of your length and height is going to be. Okay, you can sit right back up. And right back to my dominant side again. Now we're going to work on connecting this. It's only been about a month or so, 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks since Tom had his last haircut. So we won't see a huge change in the connection, but it's there. So I'm going to start in the middle here. I'm going to take horizontal partings towards the back. I'm going to just tuck that piece out of the way. I'm going to lift all of this up. And like I said, so you can't see much, but there's a few hairs there that need to connect. You're going to bring everything down to your baseline as opposed to bringing your baseline up to everything else, because your baseline is where your square shape is. So if you pull your baseline up too high, you're losing your square shape and you're going to start to round your haircut. Another section in there. Same thing. Brought down to the baseline. There's my baseline. You can see right through the hair. A the little rebellious pieces trying to pop out on me. And that last bit, lift. Again, very minimal. And then I'm going to do the same thing in this front section here, a horizontal parting, bring everything down to the baseline. Please let me know if I'm twisting and pulling too hard, all right?
Oh, good.
Again, I'm going to lift it up. There's the pieces that I need. And I'm still keeping everything not rounded to the temple, but square to that baseline. If I'm not 100% sure, lift up, take a look, keep going. And that last piece here. Okay, so now I'm going to jump to my non-dominant side. Brush that part in there. So I can keep my sections nice and clean. Follow my baseline the whole way. And the last corner.
Hey, Freddie.
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Got
yeah,
a
I
couple
can.
questions for you.
Absolutely.
Our buddy Bruce Wayne asked if you went to Europe or Denver for the qualification.
I actually went to both. I actually started about, I want to say almost 10 years ago now. I started with my first class at the old school barber academy right in Rotterdam. And that was kind of the thing that I was like, yep, this is the company for me. This is what I want to be doing. These are the styles I like. And then once Denver University opened up, I was like, okay, I want to go check Denver University out. Like, what do they have to offer? So, and then I came and checked out Denver University, and I've been to Rotterdam for classes, I believe 4 times, and Denver for classes 3 times. Okay, so now that I have all of my transition area and my crown and corners connected, now I'm going to pull everything from the top down to my baseline before I move on to my mohawk section. And I should start on my dominant side. Sorry, taking you for a merry-go-round ride. It is carousel, tattoo, and barbershop.
I'm getting a little dizzy.
So I'm going to start by combing everything over, and then I'm going to take one parting at a time, push that back out of the way, bring this down to my baseline. Section. To my baseline. And now here, if this was a Vanguard or an executive contour, I would be continuing this line straight across. But because I know I want some extra length and height in this pompadour, I'm going to find my baseline. And I'm actually going to over direct my fingers. So my baseline is still staying the connection point, but I'm preserving a lot more length in the front section. And then I'm going to switch over to my other side and the same thing. All those sections over, take that first peak of that triangle. And again, when I get to those last two sections that are kind of in the foremost part of the front, I'm going to bring them all over by my baseline here and just over direct my fingers a bit so we can get lots of height. What is it, Dolly Parton says, the higher the hair, the closer to God? All right, and then I'm just going to comb everything back. See how it's all flowing so far. And then this is when I'm going to come into my zone 4 mohawk section. So I know that I want this to be the highest point of my pompadour. So I'm going to start by sectioning out that mohawk zone. And I'm going to just scoop it all up. Because I want to keep this height, I'm just going to get rid of these little dry ends here. And as I come down the back, I'm just going to slowly start angling my fingers a little bit. So I get a little bit of that ramp. And there's really not that much to cut off in that ramp. And as you can see, it connects perfectly to these pieces in the crown here. A couple hairs here and there. And just looking over everything. And then it's time to get into blow dry and styling. So as a pre-styler, I'm actually going to use the new Grooming Tonic Texture Cream. So this is along with the other Grooming Tonic items that we have. So we have the Grooming Tonic Spray as well as the Squeeze. I like the cream as a pre-blow dry because it's a little bit softer in the hair, but it still has that nice hold. It's got a low shine to it, so it can act as its own styling product, or it can be a product that we layer with other products. I'm going to start in the crown, make sure it's all right into the roots because that's where we want the lift on this nice, gorgeous pompadour. Dry my hands off. And then I'm going to start my blow dry in the crown. And one of the ways I like to explain why we blow dry this way is like, if you think about baking a cake, sometimes you take the cake out of the oven, it looks like it's done, but the center is not cooked, it's going to fall. So we have to make sure that the center of our haircut is cooked so that it doesn't fall. I don't use a nozzle. You can if you like. I just prefer not to. And I'm going to use a tight wrap dry method in the back here to get everything nice and tight and pull everything towards that center bit in the back. We're always coming back to that center point.
Hey, Freddie.
Yes.
Just so you know, we've got a lot of love out here. We do have people joining in from Guatemala, Vietnam,
Woo.
Ontario, Denver,
Hello, everybody.
Oregon. Yeah,
Thank you
looking
for
good.
tuning in. Following my brush, using a vent brush too is the best way to get the hair drier faster. The hair's going to flow right through that brush. Okay, I'm happy with how dry that feels. So now I'm going to move on to the top. I'm pretty much working through all of the same sections that I use when cutting to maintain the shape that I want in the blow dry. And everything is just getting wrapped to the back of that head there. I'll pop over to the other side for my lovely camera person. Make your life a little easier. How you doing there, Tom?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Now this front part, because I know I want a nice tall pompadour, I'm actually going to blow dry everything forward first at the root, so that's where my height is going to be. When I pull it all back, it'll stand up nice and tall. This is where I'm going to try and get my height. I'm just going to hook and scoop that hair. More tension will be more height. Oh, look at that already. All right, we got that very tip of the iceberg there, the front of our pompadour. That's the most exciting piece there. You can see how high this baby's getting already. I'm really going to scoop and pull. If I'm pulling too hard, you let me know, okay?
Yeah,
Freddie, I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
Stephen the barber asked, how do you like the new Grooming Tonic Texture Cream?
I love the Grooming Tonic Texture Cream. I find that it has the least amount of product feel out of all of the items that we can use as a preset. It's the most natural feeling item in the Grooming Tonic line. It's easy to use. Clients love it because it can either go in wet and air dry, or you can put it in wet, blow dry, and then restyle with it after. It's a great, great product. I'm really excited that it has finally been launched. All right, look how high we got that boy, bad boy. Oh yeah. Okay, and just to lock in some of that height, I'm gonna blast the front with my cool button. My cool setting, right at the root too, take that height in there. Oh yeah. I get so excited about stuff like that. All right. Now, we're going to go through just our finishing and detailing. Our haircut's pretty much done. Our wet haircut to blow dry is our, whoo, that's as big as we've ever gotten it, I think. Woo, yeah, I think that Grooming Tonic Texture Cream is the way to go for you. All right. So we're just going to go back through our sections, our zones 1, 2, and 3 to make sure everything is nice and tidy. See a couple little heavier spots here that could get a little more tapered. So I'm just going to go in and soften those areas. Using my fingers to anchor the comb. My fingers are pressing right into the head. Now, with Tom's pompadour, we like to taper this neckline right out. And since I know that the widest part of my comb was a 1.5, I'm going to start with a 1 open and go into the hairline. Just flick up. I'm going to go half close, just below that line, all the way closed. Pop my guard off, open again. Nice slight little flicks of the wrist. That one bad boy doesn't want to cut. There we go. Half close. And all the way closed.
Freddie, I got put up some requests for suggestions. Romeo suggested maybe using the Extreme Hold matte, layer it with a little bit of pink for shine. Camille is asking what you were going to use.
Yeah, so I was planning today on using the severed head because it's St. Patrick's Day, so I want to stick to a gold and green theme. So I'm going to use the severed head as my main styler, and then I'm actually going to finish it with the green pomade just to get that shine in there. If you have a client who's not so crazy about the grease pomade, but they want the shine of the grease pomade, it's so easy to just layer them. If you're using a water-based pomade first for the bulk of your styling, you can always just top it off with that grease product for that greasy shine. And just before I do that, I'm just going to come back into, I'm going to bring my, when I come down my mohawk section, I'm even going to come into the back where the tail is here, and I'm just going to use my blending shears to take out any extra bulk. I'm going to do that all the way up through the middle into my mohawk. Just see a couple little spots that I just want to run my blenders over. And then we'll get down to the good stuff. All right, so we've got our severed head, which is our combo with liquid death. This is our strong matte clay. This is a brand new bottle you want, or a brand new can. You always want to take from the side. I'm going to take a little extra today. Warm it all up in your hands, regardless of the product. Warming it up in your hands just makes it a little easier to move through the hair. I'm going to start in the crown and push everything forward into that mohawk section. And then I'm going to come into that front area and just really mush it in there. And run my fingers in there and wipe all the excess off of my hands through the rest of the hair. Look at, that's already looking gorgeous. My goodness. Okay, and you can use whatever type of comb you desire for styling. I prefer a pick, just because you're going to get these nice little lines in the hair that look very traditional rockabilly greaser. And make sure that you're going from the middle out, especially with a pompadour, because if your middle isn't set, it will fall. There we go. And I'm just going to press a little bit for some extra oomph in the front of that style. Close up that little gap there. Sorry, I just jabbed you in the head with my pick. Now, I am a huge perfectionist, so I could keep combing that pompadour all day, but we don't have time for that. So I'm going to top this off with, like I said, the green medium hold grease. So I don't know if you've noticed, but we have new tins. We've been out with the old, in with the new. So this is our old tin versus our new tin. The new tin is actually a lot better for preserving the life of the product. It has a couple more spins. It's also TSA friendly. It's officially TSA friendly, so you can take this in your carry-on. I'm not going to use a lot of the grease because I just want it for that shine factor. And again, I'm going to warm that one up. And I'm just going to put it on top of everything. Bring everything together. And any of those little flyaways want to lay down with this one. And just going to reset my shape a little bit. There we go. Got a nice tapered pompadour. Just before I clean up all the edges, I'll let you take a look at the back. Maybe you want to get creative with styling the back a little bit, and you want to pull this middle part down and overlap these a little bit to get yourself a little ducktail.
Ooh-wee, he's looking good, Freddie.
Thank you. All right. So the last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to clean up the back of Tom's neck here. I'm going to use the Reuzel Shave Butter. The shave butter is really good for sensitive skin. I have a lot of clients that are just in general just sensitive to even soap and water, and the Reuzel shave butter tends to be the option for them. Just a little bit. I also like that once it's on the skin, it's clear so you can see where you're shaving everything. Oh no, that didn't happen. Never do what I just did. I just cleaned my tool with an open blade in my hand, and I could have cut myself. Just going to come around the edges. Get any of these little guys off the neck here. And then we want to treat the skin after shaving it. So I'm going to use a little bit of the astringent foam. The astringent foam tightens pores, soothes irritation. So it's a nice addition after just cleaning up the back of the neck.
Just want to share a little love.
Absolutely.
You got Marianne over here saying, looks amazing. Camille
Hi.
says, I love this classic. Great work.
Thank you.
Lots of love.
And I'm going to show Tom his haircut because it's the most important thing is that he likes his haircut.
Perfection. Beautiful.
Good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome job, Freddie.
Thank you. I can keep fussing with this a little bit.
Of course. Can't we all, right?
I know. Do you have anything in your beard today?
I don't.
No? Would you like something in your beard?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Just because we have a couple extra minutes, I'm going to treat Tom to a little bit of a beard refresh. So we have our refresh, no rinse beard wash. Most important thing with these is don't shake it first. If you shake it, everything's going to separate and become liquid. You want it to be a nice big foam when it comes out of there. And I'm just going to massage that into his beard. Little into the mustache. And this is going to refresh your beard if you are just kind of on the go. Maybe you're between shifts at work and you don't have time for a full face wash. You can just, sorry, I almost poked you in the nose there. A little extra. Okay. And there we go. Beautiful.
Amazing. What a transformation.
Right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Ready for the day. Cool.
Yes. Cool beans. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
You're the best.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming and hanging out with us today on St. Patrick's Day. Before we go, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. We do have on our Reuzel Instagram page a St. Patrick's Day giveaway if y'all want to go over there and check that out. Also, all the green and gold products are 20% off today. So if you want to use some of the amazing products Freddie just used, 20% off today. And also check us out if you want to come down and see us at the Denver Academy. Head on over to our Reuzel.com and check out the classics and our whole schedule of classes we have coming up this year. But all right, so thank you and enjoy your day.
Thank you all so much.
All right, have a good one.